Good morning. It's lovely to be with you all this morning. I didn't miss last weekend because I obviously posted a video, but I had it a little early, although I got to attend the Acorns and Threads retreat, which was delightful. I didn't get to see the whole thing because we had dogs and chaos, and Pilsner unplugged my computer once, but it was great. It was great to see other Stitchers, to feel a little bit of that normal feeling, whatever normal is this year. So thank you all for your wonderful comments about hot drinks. It was especially timely because my doctor put me on a new medication recently, and one of the initial adjustment side effects was that it gave me chills for several days. So I could practically warm up just reading about all the lovely warm things to drink, and I tried a few of them, although not yet the one suggested by the contest winner. So that was very much appreciated. Thank you all for sharing. And we'll need lots of hot drinks here because it has gotten very cold. I understand a lot of the US is getting warmer weather, but we here have a cold snap all of a sudden. So the dogs are not enjoying their walks at the same leisurely pace. It's a little bit more focused and sniff walk, sniff walk. So we'll be having lots of hot drinks. I don't know, the dogs may even get their food warmed up for a while just to keep them happy. All right. Moving right in, we're going to start with Stitching in Action, and this week's selection is Quilting Bee by Melissa Green, who is also Melissa K on Facebook. She stitched this one with the DMC conversion flosses on 32 count Irish grain linen from Color and Cotton, which I love. I love that linen. That's just beautiful. I think it really highlights so many of the colors. And she chose a frame that was inspired by a honeycomb, which I can absolutely see. I think that's wonderful. So thank you very much, Melissa, for sharing that lovely work and lovely finish. Then moving on, normally I would discuss what I'm stitching, but frankly, I haven't made a lot of progress on Halloween at Hollyberry Farm, so I'm going to hold off and report that next Flosstube. Also, that way it will look as though I've done more, have much more to report than just a little incremental change. So I'm going to hold off on that because this week I have two new releases to show. So here's your first sneak peek at these two. They're going out to shops, probably the emails will go out this weekend, and then they'll start going out, the patterns, to the early orders for, I can't speak this morning, the early orders will start going out in another week. So those will be arriving in shops very soon. And without further ado, the first one is part of a new series of designs that I've been thinking of based on the language of flowers. And this one features a chrysanthemum, which, depending on the book that you use, can mean friendship. That's the piece that I chose to highlight. And so here is the beautiful finish. This is done by Jolene at Acorns and Threads. And it says, "A friend loveth at all times," with this chrysanthemum flower and lots of, it should be a fairly quick stitch. It's not very large as far as the amount of stitching. And I heard from the model stitcher that it did stitch up very quickly. Now I chose to do this one in silks, partly because it doesn't use a lot of colors, although certainly even a few silk colors can be expensive, but it doesn't use a lot of thread as well. And there is a DMC conversion in the chart. But if you wanted to stitch it in the silks, you could have a friend do it with you, and you could split them up. Honestly, you could probably split the skeins into 4 or 6 segments and still all have enough to stitch yours. So that would cut down on the cost considerably and be a good opportunity to interact with your friends, because we all love to stitch with our friends, even more than alone, I think. I love what Jolene did on these little corners here, the little way she made it pooch on purpose, and there's a special stitch there to make that happen. I love her finishing as always. And this, as I said, will be going out to shops by email this weekend with full details. Also, if you haven't yet signed up at my website, blueflowerstitching.com, there's an email sign-up list that you can get, and that will send out an email, hopefully also this weekend, with the full details of fabric and flosses and all of that that's provided. So that's the first one. I'd like to do several from this Language of Flowers Things series, inspired by different flowers and the different meanings that we can assign to them, just as a jumping off point. So that is the first release. The next one, I think I discussed earlier in the year when I did a piece for Crazy Annie Stitching this summer. I did a little cat in a Halloween sweater, a Christmas sweater. And I discussed that I wanted to do sort of a holiday card the way that we used to do, you know, where everybody dresses up and you take the picture of the family. And I thought I would pull from some of the various animals that I've used in designs in the past year or two. And so here is the first one, Holiday Card 2020. Here we go, Season's Greetings. We've got a bear, a cat, a squirrel, a fox, alpaca, all set to go with a fun border. And this one again is going to be going out to shops. I went to town on the Christmas sweaters theme, so you get a proper good look at that. And I love the way Jolene at Acorns and Threads finished it with this twisted chenille and the little like package bow on the top. I think that's just brilliant. And of course, as always, beautiful finishing by her. So this one also will be ready. I haven't entirely skipped from Halloween to Christmas, although a fair part of my mind is already into Christmas, like so many. This year, I think, who knows what season it is or what's going on, honestly. So again, if you sign up for email updates on the website, those will be coming out soon. You'll get the full details on both of those, and they'll be arriving in shops shortly. Also, as I make new releases, the previous releases will be available as PDFs on the website. So those should be going up this weekend as well. And that's Halloween Parade and Acorns. So you can get those on the website by digital download if you don't happen to have a needlework shop handy that can sell you a hard copy. On to Stash Spotlight. Let's see, pulled something again, straddling that done with Halloween but not quite Christmas season. This is Live Within Your Harvest from Hands On Design. I know everyone's seen this. You love it. It's wonderful. I just pulled it out because I love it and it's wonderful. And particularly, I love the colors. I love purple and green, but I love the way she's standing with her hands on her hips and her back to you. And I just imagine that she is glaring at her crops, wanting them to do something that they're not doing. And it may be because I don't understand plants, and so I'm always glaring at them, trying to figure out what they want from me so that they'll do their thing. But anyway, this one makes me laugh every time. I am definitely going to stitch it. It's earned a place in the binder, so someday soon you will be mine. Maybe I'll sneak it in here in between the new release and the Christmas. So that's the Stash Spotlight. On to the world around. I let Rye pick this weekend because she likes to have a voice in everything. And she chose her newest favorite thing, the Desert Cottontail Rabbit. She loves these. She loves them so much, I can't even tell you. And we see them quite a bit because I walk either very early with her or very late. And so it's dark out, although this time of year, very late could be 5 o'clock. But it's dark out, the rabbits are out, and she thinks they are just the most wonderful things in the universe. And of course, she's on leash, so they refuse to come and play with her. She just hops up and down like a kangaroo and barks excitedly, and she would love it if a rabbit would come over and let her play. But so far, they're resisting. I learned a few interesting things about rabbits looking them up for this show. They can either swim or climb trees if pressed to get away from a predator. We do have a number of predators here that would love rabbits, certainly coyotes and some of the larger hawks. Also certainly Rye, although she isn't getting a chance to do that, but she can neither swim nor climb trees, so that should keep them safe from her for a while. Also, I learned that their tracks can make the shape of the number 7, so if you don't happen to see the rabbit but just the tracks, the number 7 is what you're looking for to know whether you have desert cottontails. That's been our fun thing lately. She's very anxious for her walks, and she's on the lookout every yard where she has seen a rabbit in the past, which is almost all of them. She gives an extra special look and sniff, although as I said lately it's been a little chilly, so she's speeding up her sniffing a little bit. All right, questions from viewers. Sylvia W. asked, are you currently working on a new design? And if so, what inspired your new idea? I am working on a number of new designs in various stages of completion. I have things for special projects for next year. I have things for just regular market and following releases for next year. The one that I am trying currently to finish, it's almost all designed, but I'm still playing with a little bit, is actually a continuation of the Language of Flowers series. And As far as inspiration, as I said, I've always been interested in it. One of my favorite books is this one here, The Complete Language of Flowers. And I love flowers. Not being good with plants doesn't make me not appreciate them. And I think they're wonderful, and I love the idea that they can represent so many things to us depending on our personal memories or associations or anything. As far as the language of flowers, as an example, one of my favorite flowers is the lilac, and so you can see quite a few definition options here according to this book, which is one of many, many books with many possible meanings. The symbolic meanings of the lilac can be disappointment, do you still love me, humility, love, memory, reminder of young love, youthful innocence, infatuation, or obsession. Yeah, a lot of scope there. So I am currently trying to finish up one for spring based on Narcissus and the idea of spring associations with that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, although, as I said, there are a lot of things that are on the list in various stages of done, almost done, need to be stitched. As always, if you have any questions, send them to me so I can talk about them. Thank you, Sylvia, for suggesting that, and I'd love to hear from all of you anytime. Now, the giveaway from last week, the prize was this awesome sampler of the season. Here we go. It's a little hard to get the whole view, but you see the farm and the lovely teeny tiny sheep and the lovely border. It's not a huge sampler, so it should stitch up very quickly. And to win that, you had to tell me your favorite hot drink. Again, thank you all so much. The winner, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, is Jeannie Wilcox. Jan. She drinks coffee with honey to sweeten it. I have not yet tried that. I usually put the honey on my toast, but I certainly have them together and love it. So I am definitely going to try the coffee with honey. So thank you very much, Jeannie, and everyone who participated. I hope you enjoy it. Now I want to do a giveaway this month as well, but first, I almost forgot to show my hot drinks special mug. This one was made by my son when he was very young. We did one of those things where you could send a picture and they put it on a mug for you, and we remembered to make 4 of them. We're down to only 2 left, but this is one of my cherished grab in case of fire possessions. So this is my son with his tiger, Hobbs, because he is a huge Calvin and Hobbes fan and had a tiger named Hobbs. So he drew that on there. I love this. He loved me so much, so even though he's a teenager, I can still picture him as a little boy with his stuffed tiger while I have my hot drink, possibly coffee with honey in it. Okay, this giveaway, I'm going to do 2. The first one will be for an initial copy of the chart for Language of Flowers Friendship. So if you want to tell me in the comments, using the word friend, something you really appreciate about a friend of yours. I think true friendship isn't just support, although it certainly is that. It's encouraging us to be better and allowing us to encourage others to be better, really, to learn more, to do better, to continue to grow. And although I don't always in the moment appreciate that, I value that tremendously. So I hope you all have something that you can share that you value or appreciate in a friend you no longer have, a friend you miss, a friend you miss seeing regularly in person, all of that. So now is the time to really appreciate the blessings of friendship that we have had. So leave a comment with the word friend in it to win a copy of that chart, fresh off the press, sitting on my kitchen table and ready to be folded and packed up this weekend. Second one for Holiday Card 2020, if you'd like to win a copy of this one, send me a comment with the word tradition in it. A tradition that you loved or hated when you were a kid, a tradition you miss, a tradition you think would be great and would love to start, anything like that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, we'll do those drawings. I'll get this week's winner out right away, and I look forward to hearing from all of you, getting some fun new tradition ideas for us as well. So final thing, best thing this week, Rye had a play date. The vet signed off after her spay. She was approved for normal activity. So we went over to one of my husband's sisters. They actually got a puppy a few weeks after we did. And so we had an outdoor, nice big yard play date. And Rye was a little uncertain at first, but she She got completely into playing with Gus. They wore each other out, and when she got home, she was so tired she couldn't even stand up to eat her dinner. So I think we'll do as many of those as we can, weather permitting, while we can still be outside. So a little bit of puppy video to follow. She's getting to be quite a big dog, and I think maybe next time I'll mix in some of her little baby puppy pictures so we can see how far we've come. Thank you all so much for joining me, for your wonderful comments. I appreciate it more than I can say, really. And I look forward to spending this time with you every couple of weeks. Happy stitching. Bye.